What's going on, people? We are back with another live stream, and boy, sorry, I have a cough sweet, but sorry, you know what? Let me take that out my mouth. And boy, like, we're gonna. Hey, this green screen thing is moving mad, fam. Oh, but guys, yeah, look, we we've got a Look, I've been a bit ill. Obviously it's not corona, thank God, but we're gonna review the Arsenal game. I can't lie, this green screen thing is just it's a bit mad, but we're trying, man. We're trying to invest, man. We're trying to move forward in life, man. Guys, let me know how it's going. Let me know if the connection's good. Let me know if the green screen is good. But yeah, we're gonna review the Arsenal Liverpool game, and like for me, I'm not too disappointed with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's some positives, there's some negatives, but yeah, man. Let's read it. Yeah, big up to everyone, man. Big up to everyone, man. There's some positives, there's some negatives with that game. I'm not as upset as some of the other Arsenal fans out there. But if I'm real honest with you, losing 4-0 to Liverpool doesn't actually help our dreams or our ambitions of loosely or unexpectedly getting that Champions League spot. Not so much with the Europa, but listen, like our record against the top three teams is not so great. We lost 5-0 to Manchester City, we lost 2-0 to Chelsea, and now 4-0 to Liverpool, conceding 11 goals in 3 games against the top three and not scoring 1 goal. But you know what, guys, we're going to look at, and I think in the first half, we were good, to be fair. We were robust. We didn't really create anything going forward, but in terms of our discipline and our robustness, that we were good. You had Lokonga, sorry, not Lokonga, Tavares, and Ben White, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. They were doing really well, especially Tavares against Mo Salah 1v1. You know, he wasn't doing too bad. Obviously, Mo Salah, revered as probably the best player in the world right now, especially where Messi and Ronaldo are not really doing too well. Mo Salah is definitely a guy where we go into that game expecting him to probably do a bit more, but Tavares held it up in 1v1 situations. He held it up really well, so I don't think there was too much to complain about going in terms of defense in the first half. I think obviously Ramsdale as well saved us a lot, pulled off some amazing saves, and for me, probably our man of the match if there is one. I feel like Ramsdale, he's been a revelation since he's come to Arsenal, especially where a lot of us, including myself, we were quite unsure with how Ramsdale would do, considering he's been relegated a few times from the Premier League already. But nonetheless, he's been doing well so far. But I mean, look, end of the day, those are probably the only positives I can actually look at from the game. Um, Apart from there, nobody else. And I think the second half is what we're really going to talk about today, because at the end of the day, you know, going in 0-0 at halftime, I would be thinking, if I was a player, or even if I was the coaching staff, I'd be thinking, you know what, we can do something here. We can get a result here, maybe a draw, maybe even a win. We could probably nick it. But I think personally, when we look at that second half and we think, okay, Liverpool came out like a house on fire, Um, like they weren't too good. Like, I'm not gonna say like wow, like they were blowing us away. But I think in key areas and when it really mattered, that's when Liverpool showed their quality. You know, recently, obviously, the Liverpool that we know are Champions League winners, Premier League winners, and they still have most of that squad, if not all of them, in that team, obviously, with the exception of Gini Wijnaldum and such players. But when we look at it, we're like, okay, do they have a midfield that are extremely creative? No. Do they have a defense that can be got at? Yes. Do they have a front three who are exceptional? Yes. Like, we know their weaknesses, we know their strengths, but I don't know. I think Arsenal went in a little bit naive into that game to play two in midfield. Let's say we were never going to win the battle when you got the likes of Fabinho in there, who that guy can defend or he can screen a defense all on his own. And I think this was the problem. Like we went in there with Lokonga and Partey, and if you're gonna have two people in that midfield, they have to be tidy. And Lokonga for me just wasn't really doing too much in terms of ball possession and ball retention, I should say. We had the thing where in key areas and at key moments, Lokonga just he wasn't doing it, man. He wasn't really keeping it all with us. Let me see some of the comments though. Sorry guys, I got a bit of a cold. Um 1 second, guys.
Meet the critical unknowns, the unseen.
But yeah, a back three would have been ideal in hindsight. Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get onto it when we just let me just get the lineups for you. Should have got that up first. I wasn't gonna stream today, guys, but I said, you know what? Let me just do it, man. I ain't seen the people in a while. So let's get this done, you know what I mean? But apart from that, man, like, you know, just look at, is the connection good as well, guys? Yeah, let me share the screen with you. And I said Arsenal were never ready, mate. Sorry to break it to you. Oh, let me just check. Is everybody here? Yeah. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, guys, listen, honestly, yeah. When we look here and we think, okay, Liverpool again, not really their first squad, when they've got the likes of Simikas and Chamberlain, Thiago as well. Obviously, they're not their first choice centre mids, but Liverpool play a style of football where you're not going to really outwork them in that midfield, and when you just have Partey and Lokonga there, right, I think ball retention is key. Even going forward, like a 4-4-2 for me suggests that we need to, or even a 4-4-1-1 to me suggests that we're gonna play a bit of a counter-attacking game. And when I saw how robust Arsenal were and how they were playing, trying to sit back sometimes, I did genuinely feel like we were gonna try and express ourselves going forward. But Aubameyang playing through the middle with Lacazette behind him, it doesn't always work against these big teams. I think Aubameyang and Lacazette in the middle, they're not really creative players, right? So had you started with maybe a man who could probably dribble more so or thread through those key passes, it would have made more sense. Obviously, putting a midfield 2 and not a 3 is always going to make you outnumbered in there, to say the least. But I don't think Arteta went in there tactically like didn't go in there with good tactics, because when I think about it, you have Partey, who again, he's not really a ball playing centre mid like that. He gives the occasional good pass and all of that, but he's a bit more of a ball winner. You got two ball winners in there. Lokonga again, no creativity. So it suggests to me that obviously the wide midfielders like Saka and Smith Rowe, or the men through the middle, they'll have to create something. But we don't create things enough in terms of Arsenal, you know. And for me, also, when I think about it, I'm like, there's too much dependence on Saka and Smith Rowe, right? Of course, Saka, again, good player, Smith Rowe, a good player, but can we actually look at them and think, you know what, this is going to be the man who is going to bring us forward, or this is going to be the man that's going to make something happen? Not at all. And I don't blame them for it. That is just simply not their style. You know, we've not really had a creative player like Mesut, you know, since he's left, or a Santi or somebody like that. We had obviously Jack Wilshere training with us. He was quite creative himself, but again, like I think that's something we do need to try and look for this transfer window is coming up in about 6 weeks, because we can't line up like this again. You know, when you have the likes of Lacazette. Lacazette is not really a creative player; he's a finisher. You know, Aubameyang, a bit of a finisher as well. Aubameyang's not going to get the ball and dribble for you and make things happen. You know, your center mid, if you're Arsenal especially, your midfield needs to be good. Even if you look at the Watford game where Maitland-Niles was you know, he's really patrolling in that midfield and giving those free balls at times. I don't know what he needed to do to have another to start the Liverpool game. You know, he always plays pretty decent against Liverpool, and in that Watford game, he didn't really put a foot wrong. I don't really understand it, but again, I don't want to slander the manager's decisions too much. He might know something that I don't know, of course, but when we think about it, I think midfield, the battle was lost in midfield, and you know, that was going forward and a little bit backwards as well. You know, speaking on Tavares as well, I mean, 1v1 didn't have such a bad game, but when we think about it, you know, he lacked a lot of concentration. When we look at the Mo Salah goal as well, Tavares and Tomiyasu at times, they were sleeping. When the ball was transitioning from right to left or left to right, you cannot have players like Salah or Hyota or Firmino, oh sorry, Mane, right, not getting picked up. You know, even when we look at, I think it was the third goal, the Salah goal, where Tomiyasu's gone upfield to engage, and we'll probably do a tactical insight sort of video during the week. But Tomiyasu has gone up to engage with Mane right up the field. And obviously, Mane's just thought, you know what, let me gamble, isn't it? Because going forward, Arsenal were not great. This is the problem that we have so far. Arsenal are not great going forward. So teams like Liverpool, they don't have any fear against us. When we think about it and you look at Aubameyang and Lacazette up front, you know, yeah, maybe they're going to do something, but it's most likely that they're not. So the likes of Mane and Salah, they didn't really need to track back. They just said, you know what, we're going to stand in this half space, which again, we're going to do a tactical analysis video hopefully during the week or hopefully tomorrow. But they're just saying we'll stand in this half space. The ball's going to get one back, and then we're going to attack them. Trent is a guy who defensively is not great. No disrespect to him, but again, can we not exploit that? You know, or why should we let Trent exploit us? But let me go back. Let me go to the comments. Defensively did all right, but attacking was dreadful. Facts, man. Liverpool FC didn't play that well until we made those mistakes. This is it. Bros, let me tell you something, bros. Same thing happens every year against Liverpool. We have that defense and that make those brain mistakes, and then we lose our heads and crumble. And this is where we need a leader, guys, because I see a lot of people talking about Granit Xhaka, and you know, this wouldn't have happened if Xhaka was here and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, Xhaka, I'm gonna say something that a lot of people might not agree with in terms of Xhaka, but first I do want to say that we've had these results when Xhaka's been here. Even if you look at the 5-0 away to Manchester City at the beginning of the season, you're right. We've had Xhaka there, you know, and to a degree, some people may have felt like he messed it up for us in terms of getting a red card as well. I mean, the game was already lost, but you know what I'm saying. But Xhaka, for me, is probably a name that stands out when we think about how much character you need when your back's against the wall, and especially with the energy that Arsenal have been coming forth with in these games now. where they do seem a bit more confident. We are getting results against some of these better teams. Remember, we were unbeaten in around 9 games, right? Like, we do need to realize that although we have had good results, we still need a leader to look forward to. And Xhaka might not be the best in terms of football, technically, but the guy does have heart. He does have character. And I think a lot of people don't give him enough credit for that. Maybe he can fix up a little bit in terms of the way that he tackles and whatnot. And, some of the decisions he makes, they're quite rash. But in terms of being a leader and wanting to go forward, it is Xhaka. I can't lie to you. Aubameyang, I'm a little bit disappointed with. And, he's still my guy. And I still think that Aubameyang can do well. But I do feel like Aubameyang, maybe there's something up with him as well. It happens to players. Aubameyang doesn't seem like his heart's in it. Back wouldn't have helped Jack. Arteta would have been more defensive. Spanish Chelsea at all. Same thing, family. Exactly. Saka's a bench player at best, average player. There's one thing I do want to talk about as well is like Saka, the Saka slander. And guys, look, for me, I've always said Saka is not your main shooter. Saka is a player who, he's gonna do bits when other guys are firing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He can obviously have some inspirational moments as well, but generally, Saka is not your guy that you look to change the game for you. Especially where he's still young as well. We do need a few. These guys always. I can't even look at my teeth, man. This screen. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to fix it up a bit. I think the team has a future. Just don't play Tavares against Liverpool again. He is way too erratic. Yeah, man. Just realized 13 goals this season. This is what I'm saying. Also, there is no aggression and no cojones. Well, this is the thing, guys. Even when I look at it and I say, look, we think about is that aggression in it? Only the manager was really showing it. When Arteta was confronting Klopp, but that's what I'm saying. Like when your back's against the wall and you probably need a bit of grit, you probably need a bit of, steel. You can't bring on Martin Odegaard. This is not me slandering the player. I feel like it's not his fault, but the fact that we're bringing on Odegaard when we probably need a bit of muscle and a bit of aggression in there, it shows a bit of tactical deficiency from Arteta, man. And I do listen in the most recent games. I do feel like we have been playing better and we have been showing a bit of style and character, but genuinely, we needed to get a result against that Liverpool side, because against the top three, like we said, we've scored 0 goals and it's just not working for us. But why didn't you bring on Martinelli? Again, it's not a slander to the manager, but why didn't you bring on Martinelli, a ball carrier, somebody that could probably get at Trent, or on the other side as well? Let's test this left back out. Why didn't we bring on maybe a Maitland-Niles, who again, he was very tidy against Watford? I didn't really understand it, but we're gonna go in more depth when it comes to the tactical side. Yeah, you're right about Saka. He's overrated for me, just like Mount for Chelsea. Again, I don't think these guys are overrated in a sense. I think people expect too much from them, but I do not think that they're overrated. I just feel like they are not going to be your standout players. Standout players being the guys that can pick the ball up and do something with it. I don't think Saka's ever going to be that guy, but that's not a bad thing. Saka is just the guy who quietly goes about his business. He'll chip in with a goal or assist here or there, but you need to have good players around him. I don't think he's going to be your talisman as such, but we love them because they're Hayland and they're one of our own. Although I do think that we do put a lot of pressure on them. But I think, look, at the end of the day, like, if you can pin teams back with your attack, then your defense have so much less to deal with, And I feel like when we had, if we had got at Liverpool yesterday and really gave them something to think about in terms of defense, I think going forward they wouldn't have been so. I don't think they would have been so so confident. You know, like I said, Salah and Mane just chilling in those half spaces, thinking, you know what, Arsenal not gonna do nothing forward, so I can gamble here. And they gambled, and then after they really put it on us, man. You know, when we look at even the first goal, which was the set piece, and you know, we just switched off. Like Liverpool just bide their time. That shows the experience that they have. You know, they bide their time. They say, you know what, Arsenal will make a mistake. We're not gonna overexert ourselves trying to attack them, attack. You know, we'll wait for it. Look at Salah, even for the 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 what's the guy's name again? I don't want to mispronounce his name. Begins with an M. Yeah, Minamino, that's it. Sorry. I was thinking with the Minamino goal as well. He's just slapped. Salah's just held the ball, you know, laid it off to Trent. Trent slapped it across the box, and Tomiyasu's been Tomiyasu. I'm gonna fix this green screen, guys. Don't worry. But Tomiyasu's he's fallen asleep, and then Minamano's been free. You know, there's a lot of things like that. But listen, guys, we're gonna do a tactical insight video. I just thought, let me try the green screen. You know, I got a new microphone as well. Let's try it out. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, this has been a bit dodgy, innit? I can't lie to you guys. You know, we've done 20 minutes. I'm gonna leave you lot to you know, comment on what you thought of the game. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Listen, I'm not really feeling too well in it. I feel like I'm gonna be coughing in a minute or sneezing. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go. Look at that teeth, man. Look at this green screen. I don't know what the heck is going on. But yeah, guys, listen, big up to everyone that's tuned into the stream today. Thank you, man. Listen, leave your comments below. And yeah, I'm gonna post at another community tab. But yeah, we're gonna talk properly when there's more time, guys. Yeah. Big up. I'll see you later. Thanks for looking in. Like,